All right, you guys, happy Friday. We are live and we're talking about what it takes to succeed at marketing in your business. Okay, so I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to come in. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, y'all. What's going on? I hope everybody is doing good. If you come in, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love that so much. How's everybody feeling? Let me know. I'm going to talk about what it takes to succeed in business when it comes to marketing your services. I have some notes here, of course, because I don't want to go off topic and I want to make sure I hit each one of my bullets. But happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I was going to pull one of my Brave on video cards, but I should have done it a little bit earlier, so no need to be fumbling with the things. But if you are here tuning in with me, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love that. I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if a couple more people trickle in. But this should be a really good, informative live. And if you are here, I hope you got some questions, maybe even take some notes, because I really do want to share something with you all. So happy Friday. If you're new around here, my name is Ray. I am a business coach from Maryland. Hi, Amber from Maryland. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I said I'm a business coach from Maryland. I'm a business coach to photographers and creatives. I have the honor and privilege of coaching other photographers how to build sustainable and profitable businesses, feel confident as a CEO, and thrive in life and business. And I love it here so much. And today I want to talk about what it takes to succeed in business when it comes to marketing, what it takes to succeed when it comes to marketing your business. So I'm going to put that in the comments to succeed. What it takes to succeed in marketing. If you're coming in, let me know where you guys are coming in from. I would love that so much. What it takes to succeed at marketing. Maybe it's at marketing, not in marketing. It is Friday, okay? It's been a good week. I hope you guys have had a good week. All right. Comment is pinned. Okay, so again, my name is Ray and I'm super excited to have you here. So I want to go ahead and jump into it. If people join, I will answer questions. If you have anything that resonates, any question that comes up, please put it in the chat. I'm a chat girl. I feel like that is a great way for us to have communication, and that's a great way for us to me to be able to serve you and talk back to you and things like that. So what does it take to succeed at marketing when it comes to your business? Let's get into it. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is resiliency. It takes resiliency when it comes to succeeding in business, in marketing, and in promotion. What do I mean when I say resiliency? Listen, you have to get tougher skin. You have to learn how to handle no's better. You have to become more resilient, right? Stronger. Because at the end of the day, you're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of ghosts. You're going to hear, your message might feel like it's falling on deaf ears. Some of those vanity metrics that you're looking for, you may not be able to hit. It may not happen, but that does not mean that the people are not looking and interested in what you have to buy. And so resiliency is the first thing that we're going to start off with here, right? And when I say resiliency, I mean literally the ability to withstand tough and difficult things, hard things. A lot of times, if you're anything like me, you started your business because of a love and passion in what you do, right? I'm a photographer and I started because I've always loved photography since I was a little girl. And I looked up and now I'm doing so much more than photography. There's so much more to running a successful photography business than actually going out and shooting. So resiliency is absolutely something that you have to work on and continue to work at when it comes to building your business, right? Because the vanity metrics that you're looking for, the likes, the engagement, the saves, maybe things going viral, it's not always going to happen with every post or every piece of content that you put into the world. But does that mean that we just stop? Does that mean that we just don't show up, right? No. A lot of times people are looking, they're lurking, they're watching, they're absorbing, they're there, or maybe they're just brand new to you and they're trying to get more aware and really make a connection with you, right? So resiliency is absolutely one of the fundamentals that's needed in order to succeed in this business, right? You have to get resilient. You have to build your resiliency. You have to build your emotional like currency in a sense, right? Because a lot of what we do feels very personal. It feels like, oh my gosh, I'm putting myself out there for people to judge, for people to watch, for people to see. But that's in order for you to connect with the right people. That's in order for you to attract and be found by the type of people that you are called to serve and the type of people that you're called to show up for. So resiliency is the first thing that I wanted to say that it requires for you to have when it comes to succeeding at marketing, succeeding at promotion, succeeding at advertising, being able to withstand tough times, being able to withstand like encounters where things might feel really like you're constantly getting no, or you're constantly hitting your head, or you're constantly hitting a wall, and you're not making that traction that you desire. But you have to get up and you have to keep going, because again, our marketing efforts are supposed to be for the people that they're supposed to be for, right? So if you're new here, I would love for you to tell me where you are watching in from, where you're tuning in from. And maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, where do you find that you fall when it comes to your resiliency in your business, right? Or do you feel like you are strong? Do you feel like it is whooping your tail? Like, what is it? Get really real, because this is something that you have to continue to work on and work at in order to really succeed. And I believe that this year is such a different year. You're hearing that, you're feeling that, we're all experiencing just the difference that 2024 is. And let's be real here. 2024, people are still buying. People are still making purchases. People are still making investments, right? People are still doing the thing, but how we buy as consumers is a lot more savvy. It's a lot more having a lot more awareness. And so when we think about that, having that level of awareness and that nurturing that we have to do, we have to really be able to have that resiliency and understand that every piece of content may not be the content that's going to hit. Every piece of content may not be, have all of the likes and all of the engagement, all the things that you really desire, but that doesn't matter. Like, you are resilient and you know that you are showing up with consistency so that you can attract and pull in the people that you're called to pull in. Hi, Zaylee. Hi, DQ Images. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're here, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love that so much. So the first thing that you have to have when it comes to business and showing up and putting yourself out there to connect with your clientele, your audience, your people, is resiliency. It is required. People are, the internet is loud, it's noisy, there's a lot going on, and we're all trying to make informed decisions when it comes to services or when it comes to things that we're trying to book for, right? And so resiliency is needed, because everything won't hit the first time. Everything won't be viral. Everything may not even get the likes and the comments and the saves that you really desire. Or a lot of times you might be facing a lot of no's or a lot of rejection or a lot of ghosting or whatever, but you have to keep showing up, right? You have to keep that consistency muscle moving, showing up, and you have to push through, right? So resiliency is the first thing that is absolutely required when it comes to succeeding at marketing, right? So the second thing, and you guys, if you're here, say hi, talk back. If this resonates, if you have a question, please put it in the comments. I would love that so much, because I love to talk with people here on live in the comments. I love that energy. I love that interaction, because it really helps me, fuels me to keep going and making sure that the information and my thoughts that I want to share with you are really hitting with you guys. Okay, so put it in the comments. Also, I want to go ahead and plug, I have a free 5-day challenge. You can go to the link in my bio, or you can send me a DM that says 5-day challenge, and I will absolutely send you that link to that free 5-day challenge called Becoming a Creative CEO. And it's going to give you that jump start that you need in order to understand how to build better disciplines as a CEO, how to show up better, and have some awareness around some holes and some gaps that's happening in your business. So join that free challenge. It's really, really great. And come on inside of my world so I can introduce myself to you and you can learn more about all the things that I have going on over here, okay? So the first thing we talked about is having resiliency, being resilient when it comes to your marketing and advertising, and understanding that everything is not necessarily going to be a hit, right? The second thing that you absolutely need when it comes to marketing your business is clarity. You absolutely need clarity, right? You have to know clearly who it is that your marketing efforts are for and how to speak to them, right? This is so important, and clarity can come in so many different ways. I like to create clarity around marketing with myself and the people that I coach by defining avatars, really thinking about specific people, putting a face and a name and some descriptive words, and just really dissecting them to understand how can my offer, how can my services help this person, and what are some holes and some gaps that they have. Listen, clarity is needed so much because you have to know how to talk to people, how to market to them, what to say to get them interested, right? Whether it is thinking about the desires, the final outcome and the desires that they really want when it comes to working with you and the services that you offer, maybe thinking about the challenges that they're facing, or the pain points, or the points in which they're stuck and they're not able to get through, and you are able to help them get from point A to point C or D really easily, right? Thinking about those challenges that they're facing. Or maybe even thinking about the final outcome, that desire or the thing that they're wishing to achieve, maybe that goal, right? And being able to speak to the goal, being able to speak to their future self, and being able to kind of bridge that gap between where they are now and where they will be later on. So clarity is so big because you all were not here to talk to just anybody, right? When it comes to messaging and marketing, when you're trying to talk to any and everybody, your message is falling short. There are specific people, specific type of people that you want to talk to, that you want to attract, that you want inside of your offer, that you want to serve and work with. And when you get really specific on who those people are, what they need from you, where are the holes and the gaps in what they're looking for, and what do you see that you are able to help them do? What questions do they have? Where are they stumped at in the process when it comes to booking with you? In what ways can you introduce yourself and increase that visibility and awareness around your brand and your offer to them, right? So clarity is so important. When you have clarity, you can just roll and ideas start to pour into you, and you're able to show up and speak specifically to those you're talking to. And you can kind of really repel the others around you, right? For me, an example, I am a business coach for photographers. And right now in this season, I'm talking to my photographers, those photographers that have desires to grow to 6 figures and beyond, those photographers that want to make their first $5,000. Right? That is who I'm talking to, and that is who I'm trying to attract. And I know that so well. So because of that, because of that clarity, I know exactly how to show up. I know who my avatars are, right? One second. So that is really important. So I hope that really hit. So the first thing we talked about is resiliency, having the ability to withstand hard times, hard moments, or difficult situations, right? Keep showing up, keep putting your thing out there, keep advertising, keep promoting, even when you're getting hit with no's, or you're getting rejected, or you're hearing crickets, or nothing is really happening, right? Having that belief, that resiliency, and that high belief that if you continue to show up, you will attract your people. The second thing is clarity. When you have clarity and you know who it is that you're marketing to in this season with your offer, whatever it is that you're facing, then you know exactly how to show up, how to talk to them, how to start to get in their head, right? How to think like them, how to be the person that can bridge that gap between where they are and where they want to be, and exactly in the most simplest form, even if it's not simple, in the most simplest form, how you can get them there. This is huge. Again, when you're trying to talk to everybody, You're not talking to anyone. I had one of my clients recently, and she was when we first started working together. Hi, Tamasha. Hey, you guys, if you're here, let me say hi in the comments. I would love that. Let me know where you're tuning in from. My name is Ray. I'm just talking about what it takes to succeed at marketing. We covered resiliency. We covered clarity. I wanted to tell a quick story about one of my coaching clients. When we first started working together, she was dead set on saying, you know what, Ray, I really don't want to define too narrow of a niche. And then things start to happen. That's what's happening right now, but that's okay. We're going to keep it rolling. Love your energy. Thank you so much, DQ. Hi, Tamasha. Florida is in the house. Love that so much. So she was dead set on wanting not to niche down because she really loved to serve all different types of people, right? And I was like, okay, we're going to let that ride for a little bit. But the more that we worked together, we were able actually to narrow down exactly the type of people that she wanted to serve and exactly the type of sessions that she really loved to do. And a lot of times, because she felt like she was talking to any and everybody, the messaging was falling on deaf ears. Like, people didn't know how to refer her. People didn't know who to refer her to or for. They weren't clearly seeing her as the expert and the authority that she was. And so we worked over some months, and we've been working together almost for 2 years now on really defining her niche. And when she was able to do that, she was able to see her sales increase, her confidence increase. She tells me all the time, oh my God, Ray, you helped me so much making marketing and advertising fun again. I get to be my authentic self. I get to attract the people that I really, really am called to help and serve, right? And she was like, you removed the Chicken Little that was inside of me. And I love when she refers to Chicken Little in that way, because I think what was happening is that she was just nervous to be able to name who it is that she wanted to serve and how she wanted to serve them and how she wanted to really position her brand. And this is so important for photographers, y'all. So if you're a photographer, drop some cameras in the chat. Let me know. Drop a camera in the chat. But this is important for photographers, especially in a day and age like 2024, all the things we're facing. You have to know who it is that you are showing up and wanting to work and serve. You have to know. And it's not just branding clients. It's not just wedding clients, because that runs the gamut. That is such a wide kind of wide viewpoint, right? Like, who in particular do you feel like you work the best with, right? Who in particular do you feel like your vibe and your energy and your creative magic really works well with? Because something about what we do as creatives is a little bit of magic, right? Let's be real. It's a little bit of magic. And when we're able to call those people in, when we're able to say, hey, I know you want XYZ, I know you want to be featured in a magazine. I know you want magazine worthy images for your wedding day that you dream about. I know you want to feel like you have vendors that are your friends, that really care about you, that you can work with for years on end. If that's the type of people that you want to serve, call them in, right? Name that, because the truth of the matter is that your client is looking for that. They're looking for the photographer that can boldly name and call it in and speak to their desires and their wants and their challenges and the questions that they have, right? And so that is what makes marketing really good, when you have that level of clarity, when you're able to really hone in on them and call them in and start to repel all of the other noise, right? And start to attract your people. Because we are photographers, we are creatives, we are service providers for our people, right? That is what we do it for. It is for our people. So resiliency is needed, because things are not going to always go your way. Things are not going to always be easy. Everybody that you talk to or engage with or is interested in your service is not always going to be a yes. We hear no's all the time. But the quicker that you can get to the next no is the quicker you can get to the next yes, right? And we are focused on the next yes in business. It's not about the no's. It's about showing up for the yes. It's about showing up for the people that are looking for your services, right? Having that high belief in yourself and being resilient enough to continue to be consistent and stay on it and show up and really just gather yourself, not be so emotional around every little thing that you do in business, because it's going to take that. You're going to have to put those emotions to the side. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to care, because I do believe as service providers, it's so important to care about the work that we do. But I also think it's really important to understand the game that you're in, right? No's are going to happen. Ghosts are going to happen. Content is not always going to hit and, get all the likes and go viral and do all of these things. But that does not mean that the content is not good. That does not mean that the materials are not worth reading or looking at or being booked, right? That does not mean that you're not worth being, charging your rate and someone paying you well for your services. That does not mean that, right? You have to build resiliency. You have to build clarity, talking to the people that you want to serve, calling them out, getting really, really, really specific on who it is, right? Narrowing your niche. And when you narrow that niche, keep narrowing it down. Keep talking to them, right? Show up, talking to them constantly in a way that if you weren't in the room and someone was looking for a service provider offering exactly what you do, that you would be the first person that comes to mind. Some of you all, some of my people, when I start working with them, it is so unclear. It's not clear. I know we feel like it's clear because we're the ones that putting in the work and we're the ones that care and we're the ones that are saying the thing, feeling like we're annoying people, but you have to get out of that. You're not annoying people. You are just running your business. You are just marketing. You are just advertising and you're showing up for your audience, right? So the third thing that you absolutely need when it comes to marketing and succeeding at marketing is courage. Courage to keep going, courage to show up, courage to show up when no one's on the live, courage to show up when you don't go viral, when the post doesn't get picked up by a publication, when, nothing, when you constantly are hearing no, you heard no, but you're still going to show up. Courage, that boldness, that fire inside of you that knows that what you have to offer is worthy. It's such a good service. It's such a good experience. And that if you keep showing up consistently and in your energy and in your power, knowing that you are going to start to attract the people that you really desire, right? Courage is a muscle. And a lot of times courage is something that we're able to build by taking action. A lot of times we start to overthink things in our mind. We start to overthink what's happening or what's not happening. And we start to have this negative downward talk and this negative downward spiral, believing that it's you. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I lost my sauce. Maybe, I know I shouldn't have never done this, right? But that's not true. It's not true at all. It's just that people are busy. Things are happening. First of all, there's the algorithm. There's all of these different things that play a role, right? That's why it's so important to build an overarching ecosystem. And I talk about that in more depth. And maybe that's something I'll talk about here on live one day. But courage, right? To continue at it, to stay at it, and to know that there are people that are absolutely looking for the services that you have to offer and the ways that you have to offer them. There are absolutely people that are looking for the images that you love to create and the ways that you love to create. But you have to stop assuming that they know who you are, or assuming that they know exactly how to book with you, or assuming that they see you as the authority and the expert that you know to be, right? Courage to shout your message, to shout from the rooftops what you do, who you do it for, time and time and time again. I tell my coaching clients all the time that I want us to think about social media as just like the daily newspaper. This is just something that everybody looks through and flips through on today's Friday, next day is Saturday, and that we are just running our free ad in the daily newspaper, just showing up, offering something, offering tips, being helpful, being insightful, being valuable in some way today, and that tomorrow we'll do the same thing. And then the next day we'll do the same thing, right? That takes courage. That takes boldness. That takes resiliency, right? That takes clarity to know how to do that. Okay. So these three things are absolutely three things that you need to succeed at marketing. Now, I could have gone on a whole tangent around, understanding content and the type of different content. And I am going to be sharing some of those things. But before we even get into the nitty gritty of the content and the types of content and, just all of those trends and things that we're seeing, I want you to really write down resilient, clarity, and courage, because those are the three things that you need to question yourself every day, right? Am I resilient enough to keep showing up when I hear no's, when I get ghosts, right? And not take it personal, because a lot of times it's not personal. These people don't even know you. It can't be personal, right? Do I have clarity in who I'm showing up for? Who exactly am I talking to? Have I called them out? Have I gotten really, really, really specific on that who? And have I really talked to their desires, their questions, their challenges? Have I shown up as the authority in this daily newspaper that we're all looking at and put myself out there, right? And am I showing up being bold and being courageous? With my gifts, with my talents, with my thoughts, with my ideas, with my creativity, right? In what ways can I be more courageous? In what ways can I be more bold, right? In what ways can I just show up more confidently in my power? And remember that confidence and courage is built by action. When you start to take action, you're like, oh my gosh, that wasn't as bad as I thought, right? That wasn't as scary as I thought. I can do that, right? And it feels good, especially when you're able to connect with your next yes. So I want you all to think about the next yes. Think about the person that you're called to serve and how you want to serve them and what it feels like serving them, and be in position, show up in your marketing and your advertising for that next yes. That is going to really take away some of those nerves and the uneasiness that we might have in business. So if you are here, thank you so much for coming to this live. My name is Ray. I'm a wedding photographer and a photography business coach for creatives and photographers. I help creatives become more confident as CEOs and thrive in life and business. I am so happy to have you here. I have some free resources and tools that I would love to share with you, for you to join me inside of my world so you can build your awareness around your business, build your awareness around some holes and gaps that you might have. The first one is my 5-day video challenge. You can get that with the link in my bio. It's really good, totally free. And I give you a lot of prompts. I walk you through a lot of prompts and questions each and every day for you to think through, so you can just be aware of the disciplines and the structure that you have in business, some systems and just things that you need in order to up level to that next level as a CEO, right? And today we were talking about 3 things that it takes to succeed at marketing. I talked about resiliency, right? The power to withstand hard or difficult times and seasons, to continue to show up in consistency, even when things aren't moving in the way that you desire. Consistency is going to be the name, is going to win every time. It's going to be the name of the game. I talked about having clarity around who it is that you call to serve, calling them out, getting really, really specific on that who. And I talked about having courage. The courage to show up boldly, to put yourself out there, right? Because you know that you have gifts and talents and you have something to share and offer. And you know that that offer is good. You know that it feels good, and that when you're able to deliver it, you're able to really help other people, right? So that takes courage and boldness, right? So those are the 3 things we talked about. I would love if you join my 5-day challenge. It's totally free. Come into my email list, come on the inside. I'll share more about who I am in my business, and I will be going live each and every week, giving some tips and some information. Like I did today. I hope you guys have a happy Friday, and I want to encourage you to finish September super strong. Keep showing up, keep building that resiliency, keep building that courage that you have, and show up for your people. Show up for that next yes. Don't worry about the naysayers and the ghosts and all of that, but show up in your power and offer the thing that you have. Be bold with it, right? Be courageous, okay? And I will talk to you guys on the next live. I will catch you here on Instagram. If you have questions, my DMs are always open for questions. So come over, introduce yourself, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay? Have a good night. Bye.